everyone to race number 1 of the Falcon Graphix Rusty Misfits Racing League Mini Stock Series. We are changing things up. This is the beginning of a brand new season, and as such, we are starting off with a different layout, different setup, different everything here. Monday nights remain the same with our ARCA series. The biggest change there is we are running the brand new Gen 6 style ARCA cars that I recently just released. Tuesday nights used to be our rookie mini stock series, both dirt and asphalt. But now we are running just the asphalt series. But before we run loose with these mini stocks, we have a brand new legend series brought to y'all, which we just wrapped up. Was broadcasted over at our buddies at All the Dirt on YouTube and I believe Twitch as well. Just wrapped that up. Larson Parker, who is our quickest car on track at this moment, won that race handily over yours truly. I came in second behind him. Wednesday nights are a clear night on the schedule, but Thursday night we see the dirt cars with the dirt side of the mini stock series, as well as the MLB modifieds. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little over 3 minutes left in this practice session. Let's kick tonight off, and I will ask you all to join me in the singing of our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh,
starting position for this event. Now, Dean did mention that he does prefer to start from the back and work his way through the field. But there are some very strong cars in this field right now, especially in this heat race. Bradley, Stefan, Sean Patrick, definitely cars we're going to have to keep an eye out throughout this season. Towards the back of the pack for the start of our 75 lap feature. Now there will be time to make your way up through the field, but starting at the back of the pack in a field as strong as this, definitely not a great strategy play, but maybe Justin knows something that we don't. Getting ready to go. Green flag racing here. Pace car leading him down the back straightaway. You will see it pull off onto pit road there. Leaving the field in the hands of that 33 car, Austin Strang, to take the green flag. All starts and restarts are on the green in the Rusty Misfits race. No jumping before that flagger shows the green flag. As we see the 17 car, the lone machine, on the outside line. Green flag in the air. Dean getting a pretty solid start. 8 laps in this heat race to go. Trying to clear that 33 car, not able to do so. Sean Patrick right there on the back bumper of that 33 car, looking to make a move, trying to follow. Dean getting a good run down the back straightaway. Clears the 33, takes the lead away here in heat race number 1. Dean quality to the lead. Strang in second. Sean Patrick holding on to third. And we got Bradley Stefan there sitting in fourth. We did see him catch a little bit of that outside wall down the back straightaway. Cost him a little bit of momentum in these cars. If you see Patrick looking to make a move for second place right now. Clear second to Sean Patrick in that 26 car. Dean quality out to an easy lead at the moment. Has a half second, but Sean Patrick starting to reel that in. After he gets around that 33 car. In fact, Austin is going to be in trouble here. Grabs the ball, looking to the inside, going into turn 3. Has the bumper down there. Strong, looking to make a move. Strang having to give him the space. Side by side down the front straightaway. Strang has third across the line. Stefan still fighting for that position though. Will edge his nose out just ahead of that 33 as we get hard into the wall. Almost a big incident right there. They keep it going in the right direction, but you see that 33 lost all kinds of speed. And now he is going to be relegated to a 4th place finish in this heat race. Halfway through, Dean Quality still leading us around this paperclip shaped track. Sean Patrick was trying to reel him in, but Dean has been opening that gap up bit by bit. Now up to 8 tenths of a second. Across the line they come here. Dean Quality, Sean Patrick, Bradley Vaughn, Austin Strang. Justin Walbring being scored in 5th off the track did not come out for this heat race. In down the back or front straightaway for Dean Quality, taking 1 more lap, 2 laps to go. See Stefan in that 89 car trying to catch up to Patrick. He's got about 3/4 of a second of the gap to catch up. Has a little less or a little more than a lap to do so. Might be too little too late. White flag in the air for Dean Quality up at the front of this field. Sean Patrick still holding on to second. Washes up a little bit, but that's going to be not going to be enough for Stefan to take advantage of. The gap still holding strong at about that 3/4 of a second mark. As it comes to 3/4 for the final time. Dean Quality will win heat race number 1. Sean Patrick will hold on to second. Brad Stefan catches up considerably coming through 3 and 4 that last time, but we'll have to settle for 3rd place scored 5th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for heat race number 2 here. Hunter Wellman on pole position. Kenny Troughton starting outside of him. Larson Parker will bring up row number 2 with Ray Andrews in 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason these overlays are giving me grief for the last little while. I have not been able to figure out what's going on with them. They started out working beautifully for me, and now they are not playing nice. Hopefully they will reset during the day or during the event, and we can have them going once again. But we are getting ready to go green flag racing here. Kenny Troughton, Hunter Wellman on the front row. Hunter, a very fast driver, especially on the dirt. He claims he doesn't know what he's doing on asphalt. He typically has pretty solid runs. Larson Parker, Kenny Troughton, for sure, very fast drivers. And I can't really call him the underdog anymore because he has he's shown a lot of speed in Season 5 on the Asphalt Mini Stock Series. Ray Andrews in that 13 machine won a race, and we just saw a huge gain in confidence in that driver of that number 13 machine. And he was up there contending for the championship last season. We're going to have to keep an eye on that 13 car for sure this season, but he has a stout field of competition to deal with this season. Getting ready to go racing. Base car pulls off. Hunter Wellman leading them out of turn 4 to the green flag. There it is in the air. 8 laps to go in heat race number 2. Hunter Wellman, Kenny Troughton side by side. Kenny washes way up the track. That's going to allow the 64 of Hunter Wellman to clear him, as well as Larson Parker for second. Small mistake out of that 25 car may cost him a position. He is able to slow down ahead of that 13 car, Ray Andrews. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bit of a stacked heat race. Larson Parker looking to move on, trying to make a move on our race leader. Wellman able to pull down, close that door on that 18 car. Kenny Troughton there looking to try to take advantage of the 18 car having a slow defender. Looks to the inside of turn 3. They make contact. 18's car's going up. Great drive from Larson Parker right there to keep that car pointed straight. Ray Andrews out there on the Larson line. Larson, as in Kyle Larson, who loves the rim ride tracks, which not happening here, but that battling is allowing that 64 car Hunter Wellman to drive away at the front of this pack for the moment. Ray Andrews, Kenny Troughton, side by side coming out of turn 4. Troughton pulling ahead. Andrews giving a lot of space, a lot of room on that inside. and gentlemen, heat race number 3. We have not seen this in a long time where we've had more than 2 heat races, but we have a great field in this event. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. Row number 1 sees Matt Moreau in that 38 Dodge Avenger on the inside with Mick Olson outside of him in the 75 car. Then we see the 77 of Daniel Northcutt starting inside of row number 2 with Braxton Clues in the number 9 machine outside of him. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have 13 cars in tonight's race. One of the biggest mini stock fields we've seen in quite a while. Awesome to see as these guys put on some very solid racing. Matt Moreau, very solid driver. Nick Olson, a little bit better on the dirt side of things, but you still can't count him out on these asphalt races. Braxton Clues, a newcomer to this league. Started a couple of races at the tail end of season number 5. This will be his first full season here in the Rusty Misfits Racing League, joining us in almost all the series that we offer. Have to keep an eye on that number 9 car at the back of the pack, as he is one of the few Canadians in this field. Down the back straightaway one more time before we go green flag racing. 8 more laps to set the final of our field for the 75 lap feature here at U.S.A. Speedway down in Lakeland, Florida. Beautiful sunny Florida. Race car off, field in the hands of Matt Moreau coming across into the start zone. Green flag is in the air. A nice even start across both lanes here going into turn 1. Matt Moreau able to get out ahead of Nick Olson. 4 seconds, we've got contact at the back. Daniel Northcutt making contact, sending the 77 head first into the outside wall. No caution flags in these heat races, so you just have to deal with what happens. Let's take a quick look here. What happened? Northcutt racing hard for the second place there. Moves up a little bit. Able to move that 9 car. 9 car 6's nose down there, and I don't know if Daniel didn't realize he was there or not. Gets turned off the nose of the 9 car and ending up on pit road with the damaged race car. Nick Olson out to the lead. 6 laps remaining in heat race number 3. 5 car back in. Not quite able to get there so far, but that gap is pretty small yet. Back, Matt is there, challenging Nick for the lead. 75 car washing up, letting the 38 look to the inside. They make a little bit of contact, keep it straight, sending 38 going way down to the bottom. He's going to have a bad entry line for turn number 3 here. Bumper a little bit too, that 75 car coming out of turn 4. 75, Mick Olson still holding on to the lead. Matt Moreau all over that back bumper though. Wanting to take the lead back here after starting pole position. These two battling though is allowing that 9 car Braxton Clues to catch up. It will be a 3-car race here for the lead with 3 laps remaining in heat race number 3. Matt Moreau looking to the inside, looking to make a move in turn 3. He is alongside the 75 car. Big dragging down there, slamming the door on Braxton Clues, making contact. Hard contact in the outside wall for the 99. 38 getting still squirrely. Mick Olson to the lead. Matt Moreau holding it together just ahead of Braxton Clues. That was a cluster coming off turn 4 there. 2 laps remaining. There are no caution flags in these heat races. Mick Olson, probably not how he wanted to get that lead, but now he's got a 2.9 second gap over Matt Moreau. Last lap around this track, one more still in second. Braxton Clues now pulling down a pits. Must have too much damage on his car to continue. Nick Olsen pulling off to the side, giving Matt Moreau the lead. As they come around to the line. One last time here, Mick Olsen probably not wanting to take the win in that fashion. Allowing Matt Moreau to come around as the only car remaining on the field. What a heat race, ladies and gentlemen. I would not have called that one. I'm not quite sure what is happening at the moment. Looks like it was just a little bit of an extended how do you do at the end. But let's take a look at our starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go green flag racing for 75 laps here at U.S.A. Speedway. On pole position, Dean Qualley with a good run in heat race number 1. Hunter Wellman won heat race number 2. That puts him on pole or outside pole position. Row 3 sees Matt Moreau after winning an eventful heat race number 3 with Sean Patrick on the outside of row number 2. Larson Parker in that 18 machine brings up inside of row number 3 with Mick Olofsson outside of him. Row number 4, Bradley Stefan in that 89 car has Kenny Trouton outside of him. Braxton Clues in the number 9, bringing up row number 4 with Austin Strang starting outside in 10th position. Ray Andrews in that 13 machine will bring up row number 6 with Daniel Northcutt. Back of this field we have Mick Olsen with Justin Walmsley. Both cars seeming to take a penalty here, not starting this heat race, or this feature race. Definitely going to have to keep a close eye on this 17 machine. He showed all season last season. He was a part of the winning 6 or 7 of 12 races for the championship at the end. That Strange Brew Racing crew, they know how to save tires, they know how to be there when it matters most. And in the most dangerous starting position at the moment, on pole position. Hunter Wellman, he claims he's no good on asphalt, but he is starting up there inside room. We'll have to see if he can get down there, get clear of that 38 car, and give that 17 a run for their money as we come down the back straightaway for what should be the final time before we go green flag racing. 75 laps here at U.S.A. Speedway. This car pulls off. Green flag in the air for the 17 car of Dean Qualley. Great start throughout the field as we got side by side on the front row. Dean Qualley, Hunter Wellman. position. He is down a couple of spots, but Kenny Trouton, he's making some moves up through the field as well. U.S.A. Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been log or subscribed to iRacing Music, you'll be one of the first tracks that you will race at if you decide to go oval track racing. As you see here tonight, it is put on a heck of a show for you to watch. We start rolling off into the pit road. Green flag back in the air, 7 laps into this race. Not getting off to a very good start. Larson Parker on that outside, able to clear that 17 car. Hunter Wellman looking to make a move on that outside. Thinks a little bit better of it. Deep Wally got not close to the door on it. Matt Merle, meanwhile, is looking to the inside of that 64. Hunter tried closing the door. That almost set both of those cars up to the outside wall. They came together. Back here towards the back of the pack, we got Sean Patrick, Graphics Includes, Austin Strang in this mix here. Graphics Includes trying to catch up and make some ground back up after that last race, that last conference that he was involved in, that incident. Everything back in the fall here, you see Stefan making a move on the 9 car, but Braxton Clues moving way up to that outside wall, letting the 89 car go by. Also has a mirror full of Matt Roll. 12 laps at this, or into this race here. Larson Parker out to a half-second lead, about 4/10 of a second lead over Dean Qualley. Larson started driving away, but Dean has managed to kind of keep that gap stabilized there at about that 4/10 mark. Hunter Wellman, meanwhile, managing to get around that 38 car. Matt Moreau now back up into third place. Kenny Charlton there right on the back bumper of that 38 Dodge Adventure, looking to try to sneak 4th place away. Looks like these drivers are starting to settle down and getting into a rhythm here, trying to ride out some of these laps, see what they have for everyone around them. As I say that, Braxton Blues looks down, trying to make a move on the 33 of Austin Strang. Not able to get there. Thinks better of it, slots back in behind him, but definitely looking to make a move on that 33 machine if he can find a place. Now he's looking to the outside. That or he washed up. I think he washed up there. Going to cost him a little bit of time. after being involved in that first caution there. Bradley Stefan here in that 89 car. Back up to 7th place after restarting towards the back of the pack. Definitely making some ground back up, but he's going to have to be careful here to save some tire to make sure he's got a little bit left at the end of tonight's event. Gap at the front staying very stable around that half-second mark. Dean Qualley not allowing Larson Parker to drive away from him. In fact, their lap times are very, very, very close to each other the last time across the line. A 24.15 for Larson, a 24.12 for Dean. In fact, why don't we hop on board with the helmet cam in that 17 car of Dean Qualley, see what he sees behind the wheel of that 17 Ford Mustang. Huge part of driving these cars is being smooth on the controls, being smooth with that brakes, smooth with the throttle, smooth with that steering wheel. And you see no unnecessary movements out of that steering wheel in that 17 car. You'll see that come in clutched in the later stages of this race. Like I said earlier, that Strange Brew racing crew, they know a thing or two about saving tire. Do not count out that 17 car until that checkered flag flies. Back of the pack has spread out quite a bit. Austin Strang has managed to open up a fair gap over Braxton Clues, who was pressuring him not too long ago. Daniel Northcutt quite a ways behind this group here, 7 seconds behind Braxton Clues. He will be in danger of going down a lap here very shortly if he's not careful. Ray Andrews, after having a very strong run, he is down on pit road. I am not quite sure what happened to that 13 car, but not a good start to season 6 for him after a very solid last half of season 5. Still holding steady at the front. In fact, Dean Qualley slowly starting to close that gap back up to Larson Parker, down about a tenth of a second in the last few laps. Hunter Wellman right now, though, he is under pressure. 38 car Matt Moreau all over the back bumper. Kenny Troughton looking to take advantage of any mistakes that these two drivers ahead of him make. Riding on board the nose cam, the bumper cam of Kenny Troughton as he tries to chase down the 38 of Matt Moreau with Hunter Wellman just ahead of him. See just how much he closes in on the entry. He has to check up not to get into the back bumper of that 38 car. Those drivers ahead of him checking up a lot more than what Kenny would probably want to. Kenny seems to be carrying a lot more speed through the center of these corners than the drivers ahead of him, and he's probably getting a little frustrated having to check up and keep out of these guys' back bumper. Meanwhile, at the front here, nothing really changing. Larson Parker leading a good number of laps so far in this race. Dean Qualley not able to quite reel in. Still running almost identical lap times between our top two cars.
28 coming to lap 29 here out of 75. This is the closest battle we have on the track at the moment. Hunter Wellman, Matt Moreau, Kenny Troughton all fighting over third, fourth, and fifth. So you see Kenny give a little bit of a bumper to the 38 there coming out of turn number 2. Or sorry, turn number 4 there. I was right, that was turn number 2. Sometimes it's hard to keep these corners straight. A little bit of bump, but now he has fallen back just a couple of car lengths off that 38 car. But we have seen that Kenny gets into that corner a lot faster than that 38 does. Coming down pit road, Brad Stefan looking like he is going to be calling it a race. And up at the front here, that gap has started shrinking now down to 2.5 tenths of a second. Dean Qualley starting to catch up to Larson Parker for that lead as they have the lap car of, I have to see if I can figure it out, I believe that is Daniel Northcutt just ahead of them. Lap traffic can play a factor in these races, and it will here for the lead. Larson Park, but Daniel being smart, being considerate, moves up and allows our lead cars to go around. Dean Qualley thought about looking to make a move as Larson moved around that lap traffic. Was not able to take advantage of that 77 car holding up our leader. Right now, Kenny Troughton has started battling with Matt Moreau over 4th place. That's allowed Hunter Wellman to pull away from these two cars. Matt Moreau, I believe, held the position just across the line, but now Troughton fighting down into turn 1, has his nose out ahead coming off of number 2. Side by side still here for 4th position. Kenny Troughton on the bottom, Matt Moreau on the outside. Matt Moreau fighting back, will hold on to 4th at the moment. Kenny Troughton falling back in line behind him. Kenny's definitely got a quick car, but definitely finding it hard to make a pass around that traffic ahead of him. As they are catching up now to the lap traffic of Daniel Northcutt. Gap continues to shrink ever so slowly as we see Larson getting into the outside wall. That allows Dean Qualley to catch up. Looking to the inside for the lead. Larson on that higher line. Can he keep the momentum coming off of turn number 4 here? Down the front straightaway. Dean Qualley gets across the line first. Will take the lead and clear that 18 car. We have a change for the lead once again. Dean Qualley in that 17 Mustang GT back up in the front of this pack. Larson Parker having to fall back into second, but Larson trying to pull that crossover move, was not able to get there and make it happen. But he's not fallen away from that 17 car too quickly as of yet. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have an action-packed schedule here. Every Tuesday evening at this time, we will be coming back to you with another race. We will be back next week, April 15th, at New Smyrna with another 75-lap feature. Heat races before that. Start time will remain the same with the legend cars running just before that. Then we go to Lanier for race number 3, Slinger for race number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an action-packed schedule. As we see right now, our leader, leader Dean Qualley with Larson Parker still on his back bumper. Dean got around that 18 car, was has not been able to drive away yet, though. Looking a little further back in the field, Kenny Troughton still behind Matt Moreau, has not been able to make a move for position. See Austin Strang going around the lap car of Northcutt, getting around him cleanly. Now it'll be up to Braxton Clues to get around that 77 machine. Long green flag run as we once again have a battle for the lead. Larson Parker trying to make a move on the outside line. We have not seen that outside make or have much of an advantage trying to make the initial move. We have seen cars on the restarts hold on to that position, but Larson making some magic happen on that top line, getting around Dean Qualley, getting the lead back. Larson once again proving that he's going to be a contender in this mini stock series. He did win earlier tonight in the Legends cars at Southern National Motorsports Park. Hoping to go 2 for 2 on the night, but Dean Qualley not going to lay down and let him get away that easily. Hunter Wellman now, he is 2.6, 2.9 seconds behind our leaders. Matt Moreau slowly starting to catch back up to him, going to give him some pressure for third place if he's not careful. These two leaders battling it out, having gone back and forth the last few laps here. Larson led a good chunk of the race there. Dean led a good chunk early. Larson passed him. Dean passed him back to lead some more. Now Larson once again back ahead. Dean looking to make a move there that last time down the front straightaway. Fell back into the line. These guys trading blows back and forth, trying to figure things out. It won't be long though before this 64 car of Hunter Wellman's going to have company. Matt Moreau has been closing that gap up every lap, running pretty quick lap times, but now the entire front five cars, their lap times are all within about a half a tenth of each other. Going to be very, very hard to make up any ground with lap times running that closely together. Braxton Clues here running 8th place, one of two Canadians in tonight's field. Still running 3.3 seconds behind 7th place Austin Strang. He's going to need a caution to be able to get back up into this group here. But I can tell you one person, maybe even two people, who do not want to see a caution for the remainder of this race, and that is our front two, Larson Parker, Dean Qualley. These two have been duking it out lap after lap here. We are now 26 laps to go in this race, and these two are not getting away from each other. Hunter Wellman still staying ahead, about a 2-car length gap ahead of that 38 machine, Matt Moreau. Matt Moreau slowly trying to get that gap back down though. One good news, or bit of good news for Matt though, is he has opened that gap up to 5th place Kenny Troughton. Troughton not able to hold on with that 38 machine after trying to take 4th away. But Kenny has a good long gap back into 6th place Sean Patrick, who is running over 3.5 seconds behind Troughton at the moment. Coming down the back straightaway, Dean Qualley looking to the inside going into turn 3. Nothing doing that time, falling back in behind as Larson closes the door on Qualley. Right now, if this series had a hardest charger award, that award would go to our race leader, Larson Parker, who is up 4 positions over his starting spot. But if Dean manages to get around that 18 car, he would be tied with 3 other cars for that honor. Dean continuing to look to the inside, not able to get down there and get his bumper alongside that 18 car though. Every lap here, Larson able to close that door just ahead of that 18 or 17 machine. But Quali making Parker look in that rear view mirror, making him drive defensively, is causing that 18 car's lap times to slow down just a little bit. That and the tire wear coming into play now with 20 laps to go at the line this time. As we will have to deal with more lap traffic here coming up. That would be the 77 of Daniel Northcutt once again. These guys will catch him. He was very considerate the last time these guys caught him. Moved way out of the racing line, let those leaders go by him. Did not want to factor into that race, knowing he was not fast enough to compete with these guys. Now remember, in stock car racing, there is absolutely no rule saying that a lap car has to get out of the lead lap car's way, as we got a battle for the lead once again. Quali down to the inside, getting there this time, coming up to the lap traffic of Northcutt. Coming down into turn number 1, it's still side by side. Northcutt goes way to the outside. They're going to be 3 wide coming off turn number 2. They keep it straight. There was almost contact between Parker and Northcutt. They keep it all together. Do not hit, do not wreck. And Quali is able to take the lead away from Larson Parker to lead across the line, this time with 17 laps to go here at U.S.A. Speedway. Meanwhile, there will be a battle for the 3rd place here. Or, well, I can't say will be a battle. There is a battle. Matt Moreau is there on the back bumper of that 64 machine. Hunter Wellman now driving in that rear view mirror, seeing where that 38 car is going, where he's making up time on him. Now having to work the lap traffic with Northcutt. They get around him easily, but Matt Moreau staying lower going into turn number 3, looking to try to make a move on the 64. There's nothing doing there. There's too much of a space between those 2 cars. 15 laps to go. Sean Patrick here in the 26 car, all out by his lonesome there. No one behind him, no one ahead of him for a battle for position. Decent run tonight in 6th, but he has lost 2 over his starting spot. At the front of this field though, Dean Quali, after taking the lead back from Larson Parker for the 2nd or 3rd time tonight, has not been able to run away from Parker. Parker staying very close to that back bumper. Laps winding down, Parker's looking to make a move, or looking to find that advantage, trying to find his way around, go 2 for 2 tonight. In fact, the gap between the leaders and our 3rd place battle has been fairly stable the last few laps as well. These top 4 cars running very, very similar lap times, as we see Hunter Wellman able to pull ahead and open a gap a little bit up on Matt Moreau there in the 38 Dodge Avenger. These drivers right now, they'll be feeling how much tire they have used. Those tires on these race cars will be coming to the end of their life. And who saved the most tires? We see the biggest lead we've seen in the last 50 laps opening up here. Dean Qualley up to a 7/10 of a second lead over Larson Parker. Now it's starting to pull away a little bit. Hunter Wellman actually starting to reel in Parker, as well as opening the gap up a little bit over Moreau. Coming to single digits remaining in this race. 10 laps coming to 9 at the line, this time by Dean Qualley. As I said, that Strange Brew, a master of saving tire. And that is coming in clutch for him, as that gap back to second is now up to 8/10 of a second. Hunter Wellman down to 1.9 behind Larson Parker, but Matt Moreau is starting to reel him back in. With the laps winding down here, Matt Moreau is on the back bumper with that 64, looking to make a last-ditch effort to get around and get that last podium position. 8 laps to go, though. His time is running short to get there and get around that 64 car. Dean Qualley still pulling away. 1.1 seconds now between him and Larson Parker. Larson Parker still falling into the clutches of Hunter Wellman, but Hunter having to drive in that rear view mirror as that 38 has once again closed that gap. We see Hunter very nearly catch that outside wall coming down the back straightaway there. Moreau was not able to take advantage of that small mistake, though. Austin Strang here in 7th place. No one anywhere near him. 6 seconds either side of him. To Sean Patrick ahead. Braxton Clues behind. Kenny Troughton's kind of same deal. Has a 3-second gap ahead and behind him. Hunter Wellman opening that gap back up on the 38 ever so slow, or ever so slightly. 5 laps remaining in this race there. Hunter wants to see that gap. He hopes that Matt Moreau is burning up his tires too much, trying to catch up to him. At the front of the pack, though, Dean Qualley now a 1.2 second lead over Larson Parker. Wrong button there. Parker not quite able to keep up after that last pass for the lead. Hunter Wellman was slowly reeling in that 18 car, but now I think he's driving too much in that mirror, trying to make sure that 38 stays behind him. Matt Moreau making a multitude of last-ditch efforts here to try to reel in that 64 car, trying to get that last podium position away and get that number 38 Dodge Avenger up there in the interview room after this race. Hunter not wanting to give it to him that easily, though. Dean Qualley just lapping the 9 car. Braxton Clues, they're putting him between himself and second place Larson Parker. Parker probably not going to have to deal with that 9 cars. We are coming through 3 and 4, or coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for leader Dean Qualley. One more time around this short paperclip shaped oval for that 17 machine. Dean Qualley ahead of Larson Parker in second place. Hunter Wellman still holding on to third, about a car length back from Hunter's. Matt Moreau in that 38. Down the back straightaway one last time. Dean Qualley is going to hold on for the win here in race number 1 of season 6 of the Falcon Graphix Rusty Misfits Racing League Mini Stock Series. Larson Parker holds on to second place. Hunter Wellman in third. Matt Moreau brings up 4th. Kenny Troughton rounds out our top 5. Sean Patrick, Austin Strang, Braxton Clues, Daniel Northcutt, Ray Andrews will be our top 10 finishers, with Bradley Stefane, DNFing, Justin Walbring, and Mick Olsen not starting tonight's event. Congratulations to that 17 Strange Brew Racing crew as he wins tonight's race after a hard-fought battle throughout that middle section with Larson Parker. Larson able to hold on to second place. Hunter Wellman was doing a decent job for a few laps reeling in that 18 car. We know that 18 car is pretty dang quick, but falling a little bit short to that 17 machine. Now we will be waiting for the couple last drivers here to hop up into the broadcast booth for their post-race interview. In fact, they are there now. Why don't we pull our third place finisher, Hunter Wellman, in that 64 car, bringing up third place. Hunter, how's it going right now? You gotta be pretty worked up on adrenaline at the moment.
Yeah, that race was action-packed. I had to fight off Matt for the past 50 or so laps there.
Yep, Matt definitely kept catching up to you, and then you kind of pulled away a couple of tenths, and Matt would catch up. It was kind of a yo-yo race between you and that 38 for the last about 40 laps or so.
Yeah, I don't think I saved enough tire in the beginning. In those later stages, I would get really tight in 1 and 2, and he'd be able to catch up and try to make a move in 3 and 4. I had to defend him a few times there, and then with a couple of laps to go, I had a big enough gap to where it wouldn't matter what he did.
Well, and then Hunter, once Larson got passed by Dean Qualley there as the final time there, you started reeling him in as well. How much were you driving out of the windshield trying to catch up to Larson? How much were you driving in that rear view mirror trying to keep that 38 behind you those last 20 or so laps?
I'd say it was an even mix. I really wanted to catch Larson for second, but he had all the track position in the world. Matt, though, he was right on my bumper the whole race, so trying to keep him in check, fighting for the podium, while also trying to reel in Larson and potentially Dean, just trying to switch back and forth, looking between windshield and my mirror.
Well, and we know Matt, he's a pretty hard racer, but he does do his best to race clean. He won't move a guy out of his way if he can avoid doing so. We saw that a lot here coming up in those last 20 or so laps where he would catch up to you, make a small mistake, fall back a little bit. Were you worried he was going to give you the bumper in the closing laps to try to get around you, or?
Um, I guess not really worried. I think I was more so anticipating what he was going to do. He gave me a shot around lap 30 or so, but I think it hurt him more than it hurt me. But yeah, he was really clean tonight. Really happy to race with guys like him who try to earn respect on the track. Uh, I didn't get taken out. He never wanted to take me out. So being able to race with guys who just want to have a clean finish, it's really fun.
Absolutely, and giving room when they're there. You race how you want to be raced, and maybe a race or two down the road, the roles will be reversed, where you're behind him racing for position, and you know what, you got to remember to race him clean now.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna try to not use my bumpers as much as possible. Mistakes do happen, although it usually comes to bite me, as you've seen a few times last season.
Absolutely, it is short track racing. Things can happen, and the big thing with stock car racing is rubbing is racing. But there's a difference between rubbing and straight up obliterating the competition too. So,
Definitely.
well, Hunter, I'm sure you got a few names you want to give a shout out to on that race car.
Yeah, I want to start off with my newest sponsor-ish, I guess. Misfits of Motorsports has recruited me to be their newest driver, so I am now the fourth car for them and the third car in their ARCA team. So huge thank you to Justin, Ray, and Kyle Thayer. I want to thank you for broadcasting. Misfit Creations, they do all of my paint schemes. Steel City Synthetics, if you ever need any oil, go to them. RJB Automotive, KRS Clothing, Counter Range and Supply, Disabled American Veterans, and Hairstyles with John.
Absolutely, and ladies and gentlemen, back at home, they're watching. If you want to see a great young up-and-coming driver here, Hunter Wellman, 15 years of age, up there battling it out with guys far older, far more experienced than him, and doing very, very well. So keep your eyes out for this young driver right here.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Have a good night.
You too, Hunter. Congratulations on third.
Thank you.
All right, after a hard fought race, going back and forth a couple of times there between you and that 17 car, Larson Parker coming up just that little bit short. Larson, how are you feeling right now? You got to be pretty tired after that battle.
Dude, those cars are a workout. I thought like super late models were bad. Those are almost worse
Well, the big
in terms of
difference,
arm workout.
the big difference between this car and the late model is the late model at least has a little bit of horsepower to make up for a mistake, whereas these cars, you make a mistake, that's almost the end of your race.
Yeah, they're really based on your momentum. I almost feel like they got less horsepower than the legend cars we raced before that, but not a pro. I'm not a pro on that one, so.
No, and you had a very strong car here tonight. You know, you're up 3 positions from where you initially started the race. But you came up a little bit short to that 17 machine. When you got up there and you saw your race in Dean, what was going through your head? What was the game plan to try to keep that 17 behind you?
Well, I knew no matter what, he would have a little bit of a draft, so I was kind of just, I was thinking I could save, and then halfway through that strategy, I realized that that was only like my third time driving the car, and I didn't know how to save. So I kind of, from when I noticed that, it was just kind of go, and I was just kind of hoping. I didn't know exactly how the tire wear was in these cars. I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I didn't really know a whole lot going into this race. So I was just kind of having fun with it up there, battling.
Well, and having that long green flag run, only having the one caution flag early in the race, that probably didn't help the tire wear situation much at all, did it?
Yeah, no, definitely not. And if the sun kind of started coming out at the end too, so that also didn't help a lot in the corners.
No, but you guys, you at least made it an interesting race to watch there. You guys were back and forth for the better part of 50 laps throughout the center portion of that race. You know, I got to thank you, Larson, for putting on that show for us fans to watch tonight.
Oh yeah, anytime. There's even if I came in third or fourth or whatever, you can't complain about a good race like that. So
Absolutely not. It sucks when you got a guy that just goes out to the front of that pack, drives away to a 10-second lead, and there's nothing to watch after that.
yeah, yeah.
But you definitely didn't allow that to happen tonight. You made Dean earn his Cheerios here for the win. So
Oh yeah, that's always good. It's someone I know. I knew he was fast. I didn't know how fast in these, but it's just good to be back to this league. That's all I can really say about these whole night together between legend cars and mini stocks.
absolutely, we had some pretty solid racing. You know, you and I battled for the win a little bit there earlier tonight in the Legends at Southern Motorsports Park. Had a lot of fun racing. Yeah, we kept it clean, we kept it together, and you earned a well-deserved win there. And you came up just shy tonight, but you still managed the second place. Still a strong finish for the night.
Oh yeah, nothing to complain about at all. So
No, but I'm sure you got a few people on that car you want to give thanks to for helping you out.
on that car, shoot, on that for that car, I'll give a shout out to my family and friends for watching me. But besides that, I don't got a whole lot of other sponsors on that one.
Oh, a solo show here in the mini stock side, eh?
Oh yeah, haven't had any time to get ready for this one.
Well,
But I'll be back next week, I think.
well, it didn't really show tonight, Larson. Up 3 spots from your start spot. 2 claims second. Coming up just behind that very, very dominant 17 team.
Yeah, well, I think I'll see him next week, or I believe I'll be racing the mini stocks next week. But hopefully we can, if I do come back, we can put on another good show.
I hope so, Larson. You're definitely a car to watch, and I hope we'll be talking about a championship contender with you.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan all in all. That was the plan for Legends. I just found out about this league, or the mini stock series. So.
Alrighty, Larson. Well, congratulations once again on finishing second, and I can't wait to see what comes from the season from you.
Yeah, I'll see you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the previous season champion and now race number 1 winner. We're starting off strong, just like we did season number 5 there, Dean. How's it going?
You know, Tom, I'm speechless. Like I said to Larson, I've raced with him for many years, and I've never beat him until tonight. So.
Well, he definitely didn't lay over and let you have that one there. You guys battled back and forth, running very, very, very similar lap times, almost mirror image lap times for a good portion of that center part of the race. And all of a sudden there, I don't know if the lap traffic kind of helped you get to the inside of Parker, but all of a sudden you got around and you started to kind of slowly drive away.
Yeah, no, I think he was chewing up his tires a little bit because I could definitely eat him up on the corner entries and stay on his back bumper on the exits. But I mean, wow, that was fun.
Well, we kind of talked with Larson a little bit about that, that early caution there, not really viable to go into pit at that time that caution flew, but then were you hoping that there might be another caution coming out a little bit later in the race where you could maybe take tires, or was your plan just to stay out the entire time?
Oh no, I didn't want to see a caution. I definitely wanted to see this thing go green all the way. So.
Well, knowing how you and that Strange Brew Racing crew are with tire saving, I wouldn't doubt for a second that was your deal, because you knew that if you went green the entire way, you definitely had a good shot at the win.
Yep. No. I mean, for the first, like I said to Larson when I was talking to him here, when we were battling and he got ahead of me, it was fun just to stay behind him, and I could kind of tell he was pushing the car a little bit, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to try it. So I went by him, but then I felt myself pushing the car too much, so I let him by again, and then that's when I followed him, and basically until I knew I had a spot to get him, and then I took off and basically never looked back.
Well, and a strategy like that can be a little bit dangerous. Getting out ahead is usually the way you want to go, but a smart racer knows when the time is to push, when the time is to kind of follow. Letting the competition back around is a bit of a dangerous move, but you made it work tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a risk I was willing to take, but yeah, I don't know. That was a lot of fun.
Well, Dean, you and Larson definitely put on a heck of a show at the front. We've seen a couple of races there last season where, the leader got out front and just kind of drove away from the rest of the field. Definitely didn't happen tonight, considering how long that green flag run was to the end. So, I got to congratulate you and Larson for putting on a great show for the fans tonight.
Yeah, no, that was blast. I know when Larson and me were racing side by side, I knew Hunter and Matt were gaining on us, but yeah, it would have been fun with a 4-way battle or even 5, but hell, I'll take it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you got a few sponsors, a few family and friends you want to give a shout out to on that race car of yours.
Well, first and foremost, the boys back at the Strange Brew Racing Shop. They worked hard over this last week from coming off the championship and getting ready for tonight and having some new drivers, and yeah, and then I gotta thank Falcon Graphix, Drew Bauer, you Tom for broadcasting, everybody in the series and the league. I'm not sure if my old man's watching or not, but hi Pops, and yeah, I've beat my goal, I guess. I've always wanted to beat Larson, and I finally have done it. So, if I finish last for the rest of the season, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Well, you definitely came off last season on the on a roll. You came off with lots of momentum with the championship, winning over half the rate or half the season last season. So you coming in with the momentum. You didn't let the hangover, considering the short. Well, you can't really call it an off season we had here between season 5 and season 6. So didn't let the hangover get to you. You got the win in race number 1. You're starting off this new season strong.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good start to the season. But yeah, we'll see what the rest brings. I know. Hopefully, I convince Larson to come race full time with us. So be good to battle with him again, and Hunter and Matt and Kenny and all of the guys. Ray had bad luck tonight, unfortunately. That kind of sucked for him.
Yeah,
So would have been nice to see him up front too, but hopefully next time.
Yeah, we definitely have a very strong field this season. You know, like you mentioned there with Ray having bad luck, he had a very strong run, finishing second last season. And, you know, Larson's definitely very quick. And we got Kenny Choate out of retirement. He wasn't able to make the last little bit of last season. He's usually the guy that's up there in the leaderboard as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on what goes on this year.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked that he was further back in the field, but I don't know if he was just having bad luck or what. But hopefully next time he's up front and battling for a win.
With any luck, we'll have to see. I do believe we are at New Smyrna next week.
Oh boy, that'll be fun.
Absolutely. All right. Well, congratulations once again on the win tonight, Dean. I think we are going to call the broadcast here, and we will go on and wait for next week, see what it brings.
All right, thanks, Tom, and make sure you stop by for a cold Pilsner at the Strange Brew trailer.
I'm already walking on the way.
See you soon. Have a good one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to the end of tonight's racing event here at USA Speedway. Dean Qualley, after a dominant season number 5, starts season 6 with a win, the same as he did season 5. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on that 17 team this season once again. But he is going to have competition. Larson, Parker, Kenny Troughton, both very fast cars. Brad Stefan also usually up there. Ray Andrews not having a very good run tonight, but he has found a lot of confidence, a lot of speed in that mini stock. Sean Patrick, Austin Strang, also pretty solid drivers. We have a very, very, very strong field here. 13 cars made the arrival tonight. We'll have to see what happens going on throughout the remainder of the season. Thank you for joining. My name is Tom Quiring. This has been the Falcon Graphix Rusty Misfits Racing League Mini Stock Series on Tuesday night. Can't wait to see what next week brings at New Smyrna. I hope you all join me there.